All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So this is 3 days with the also famous and very much attention-getting iPhone 12 mini. So I'm gonna tackle an area that I know a lot of you guys are gonna ask. So I'm starting the video off with battery life. Now, for me, battery life has been absolutely fantastic. A lot of you guys are worried about the 2,227 milliamp hour battery inside, and I don't think you have anything to worry about. I personally think it's fine because I consider myself not a heavy user, I guess. I'm way above average when it comes to using a smartphone, meaning I am on it all the time. The lifeline, if you will, when it comes to tech or communicating with family, these things, that is just how it is. This is where I am with it. So I think that when it comes to battery life, I always tell you guys, it definitely depends on you. But in this situation, this is one where it is a small battery and you might have some concerns about that. But like I say with Android and the Pixels, optimization is key. It's like having stock Android, and that is where Apple is at. This shouldn't be an issue though, or a concern, I would say, because the previous generations of iPhones that I've owned, the battery life is great. No problems whatsoever. So even down to the iPhone 8 or the iPhone SE had pretty decent battery life. And this has really good battery life. It's right on par with any other device. I don't look at the settings or anything. Like I didn't look into, battery life, screen on time. I didn't look at that. But I definitely am getting great battery life. So let me see if I can figure this out here for the week. It says my average is 4 hours and 18 minutes. So let me see if I can get this to focus for you. It says my average is 4 hours and 20 minutes, basically, roughly. But that's an average too. So I feel like it's much higher than that. These numbers, they look good to me because I know how I've been using the device, and it just seems like I've never had it die on me, and I don't let them. I now, when I'm measuring battery life, I pretty much measure the devices for how long they stay off of the charger, and I'm going on 4 days, I think, with this device, and I've only charged it twice. Bars. But I'm going on 4 days, so I've only charged it twice, and that's how I'm measuring the battery life. And I always tell you guys, you're going to measure your battery life how you want to measure it. Some people love to focus on screen on time. I like to focus on the time that it's off the charger, and then when I pick up my device, is it there for me? I think that's the most important thing. For me, it is. So I'm averaging 4 hours and 18 minutes, it says, over the last 3.5 days or so. So I think that's fantastic battery, even on any phone, not just this phone, for the way I use my devices, because again, I don't want to be on the charger a lot. And to my surprise, this one doesn't have me on the charger too much. Charging it 2 days, charging it twice in 4 days is pretty good. So how's everything else? Well, the cameras are absolutely magnificent. They still have kind of that hue, that brown hue, like if you're doing certain lightings, like outside, if I'm taking photos and doing video, it obviously looks great because you have the natural sunlight, and the sunlight is just going to give you the best quality photo when you're outside. That's just the way it's going to be. Now, taking portrait shots, man, I really like taking portrait shots. Let me see if I can get a portrait shot right now and post it for you while I'm here. So that shot is just a quick, it's blurry to me. Let me put my blindfold on. That's a great shot, man. I mean, I'll try to remember to put it up in the video, but just in case I don't, that's a really good shot. That's a good shot. I think Apple has done great. It's not flawless, but if you're just doing social media, or I could print that probably, and I've actually taken photos on cell phones and printed them, like put them throughout the house. I'm not the only one that does that. I just choose a really high quality photo, send it to, sometimes they'll kick it back and say this is poor quality, and sometimes they won't. But I could print this photo right here and put it up and have it somewhere in the house. I'm sure I could. photos on this thing, again, fantastic. When you're comparing it next to other cameras, that's when you see the difference. Now, I've said it in multiple videos. I prefer the cooler tones, which come from the Pixel devices and other devices. The Samsung Galaxy devices have a lighter, a brighter view to them when you're looking at the photos. And Apple tends to have like this dark brown or a darker hue, depending on what your situation is. Obviously, again, if I'm outside, taking photos and video outside is absolutely flawless. But that's pretty much every phone nowadays. But camera quality, I don't think you'll be disappointed in any kind of way. I mean, I really like that they've moved the basic camera settings to the camera app. Like I can switch in between 4K 60, 1080p, 30. You can switch all of that right from the device. So I think that's the simple things like that mean so much more. So battery life is good. Cameras are good. The screen is actually pretty beautiful. You can actually watch, it upscales to 4K very well on this device when you're watching YouTube and things like that and content. I like the picture-in-picture feature. Like if I'm watching YouTube TV or like Spectrum TV or just any kind of TV app other than YouTube, it lets me go into picture-in-picture mode, and I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that it was going to do that. I was like, whoa! I was watching Spectrum. I was watching TV on my phone while I was waiting for something, and it went into like a picture-in-picture mode, and I was like, wow, okay. So I didn't know it can do that. But let me turn the volume down let me see if I can get it to. Yeah, see how it's in picture mode right here. See how the video's playing down there. I think that's pretty cool when you're watching TV. You can go in picture mode now on these little screens or just any screen. So obviously if it does it on this display, it does it on your display too, because your display is probably bigger. If you have the iPhone mini, 12 mini, let me know how you feel about it. I think the screen is absolutely gorgeous, man, because obviously it's gonna look a lot better because it's a higher resolution. When it's smaller, you know what I'm saying? It's packing in more pixels, so it should look a lot more sharp and crisp. But overall, when I was in the YouTube video app, I was like, wow, it's letting me select 4K on here. So I thought that was pretty cool. Even though we know it's upscaling to that, it still looks really good. So battery, screen, cameras, all great, man. Overall experience, the size. Now, I left the big iPhones over there, but I do have my 12 right here. I'm gonna take it out of this case. And yes, I took off my outer box for the purposes of this video. But size, you guys seem to be really pushing the size. Oh, Jay, it's too small for you. But how could you tell me what's too big or too small for me? I know what I want in a device, and I've said it multiple times. I like to have a certain kind of device, a size of device, when I'm moving about. And both of these are really good size devices. Yeah, I do like small phones, and I do like big phones. But overall, when I'm out, folks, that's pretty much, depending on what I'm doing, I'm grabbing the Pixel, man. I'm grabbing the Pixel and I'm rolling out, and I'll forward my line from the Z Fold 2 in most cases if I'm going to be running around for a very long time, because that device is a brick in your pocket. And then with this device, even though it's super small like this, I could do this right here and not be affected. I can put on my OtterBox, because the OtterBox is probably one of the bulkier cases that you would actually roll with. And then I could throw this on and have full coverage protection. I do have a white stone dome on here. I'll talk about that in a minute. But a lot of people are sending me messages about touch display issues and things like that, and they're returning their phones because of the lock screen. Let's finish with that, because I don't really want to talk about that. But I can put on my OtterBox, and now I have full coverage protection on this little device. And then I put my other case back on my 12, and you can see, they're smaller phones with bulkier cases. But, the OtterBox is just something that I just really like. It's the ultimate protection of a lot of the cases that I use. So comfort, feel, in hand, everything is beast mode on here, man. It really, really, really is nice to run around. I've dropped this also down. It just rolled down the sidewalk. I was like, ugh, I was cringing, wondering if it was gonna shatter or anything like that. But it was inside the OtterBox, and it was just perfectly fine. I picked it up. The OtterBox was obviously nicked up a little bit, and with some cement markings on it. But I picked it up. I kept going. And so that's if you drop this without a case on it, the chances of it shattering are high. You know what I mean? Sip to the. You already know what it is. I got a cuppa. Son. I got a cuppa. But have I been having any issues? Absolutely not. Now, let's just talk about this thing last before I get out of here. The touchscreen issues. Some people are saying, oh, I returned mine. The phone is messing up. If you put a screen protector on this device, now, I'm always frankly honest with you. So the video that I did with the tempered glass for the screen protector. Now, remember, I have a white stone dome on this one too. No issues with the white stone dome on that one. I personally think it's this case. Now, for me, this is where I have the issue sometimes when I'm swiping it open and I'm trying to get it open. It doesn't swipe open every time, but it only does that when I have this OtterBox on here. When I take it off and I put on other cases, I don't have that issue. So a lot of you guys is messaging me saying, you know, Jay, the phone is, I had to return it. You know, so I'm like, why? Thanks for sending me a private message. Let me know you return your phone. I don't know why. Some people are putting it all over my comments. I'm like, but that's not like, I'm not experiencing that issue like 24/7. So I'm okay with, you know, having it sometimes not open. But the times that I've had that happen, it was when I was using my OtterBox. And I took it out of the OtterBox just to be sure, and I put it back into the other case, and then I used it without a case. I have no swiping issues from the lock screen, nothing. So I'm not returning my OtterBox, and I'm not returning my phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, those aren't reasons that I would return. I think a lot of people have buyer's remorse, and, you know, because I did pay full cost for this, 128 gig, but like, I get the government discount through Apple, so I got a nice discount through Apple. It's still a lot of money that I spent. I didn't get that big of a discount. I mean, you know, a couple $100 off is a good deal, but that's still expensive. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it's not worth returning now that I know I've narrowed it down on my device. You do what you want to do with your device. I've narrowed it down that when I use this OtterBox, it appears that I'm going to have some touch sensitivity issues when going in and out, coupled with the white stone dome. Now, as Gary said previously, I did the video with the white stone dome with this phone, and I started having those touchscreen issues when I put it in the case. And so I took the first white stone dome off, and I thought, man, that white stone dome, blah, blah, blah. Turns out it wasn't. Because then I started to notice when I put the case back on, I said, whoa. I said, I can't, what's going on with my swiping gestures? And then I said, you know what, I'm gonna put another white stone dome on. I wasted the first one. I was gonna give that one away. But now I have a white stone dome on here again, and those issues sometimes come up. So that's the only thing that I've noticed about this device. And you know, don't go out and just return your device immediately. Try to solve what I know. I mean, I'm not living in a fantasy world or anything like that. I'm just a guy who does YouTube videos. And yes, I do have way more phones than the average person because I'm reviewing them and buying them myself, and most overall, pretty much. But if this is your only device, I understand why you will be concerned right away. But troubleshoot sometimes, man. Just hitting return, you know what I'm saying, it's not always the answer. You gotta, you know, especially if you're within your return period, do like I did. Take some steps to try to figure out what it is, because, you know, that's just not always the answer. And if I could hold on to the Surface Duo as long as I did, I'm not returning this for. I'll replace the case if it gets too annoying. Then I'll take my OtterBox off and just use it every now and then. I don't know. Anyway, it's your man Jay. Wow, I'm super excited that I got my iPhone mini. All the people that keep saying, oh, it's too small for you, it's too small for you. I don't understand why you're saying that, because I'm the one that's using it. It might be too small for you. Even though most of the people that might say that probably don't have it. So this is a trend that we run into. And you know, to those people that are saying that, respect, that's your opinion. But I live on the fact that I have it, I'm using it. It doesn't matter that my hands are massive. It just means that I know what I'm looking for in a device. And even though this is a small body, it's a 5.4-inch display, folks. That's a big screen. We're just so used to what we consider big with something like this. This is what we think is big. We see this as ginormous, and you know, we think, you know, that's ginormous, you know, but this is a big screen too. This is a ginormous screen, folks. It is. It's a huge screen. So whatever your needs are when you're looking for a device, you know, just go with what you are doing within your circle. Don't focus on what people are telling you. Because I've been getting a lot of comments like, man, that's too small. But I don't take it personal. I just think, that's how they feel about it, But I also know that none of these people have the device. And if I were to buy them one or just let them use mine for 2 or 3 weeks, the adjustment will come like anything else. You have to get that your muscle memory will kick in, and you'll start just getting used to whatever you're using. I'm blessed enough to have small pixels already, and I love the Pixel 4a. Been using it a little bit more because I was going to give you guys a follow up, but this has a smaller body than the Pixel 4a roughly. Let me get it. Yeah, it's in this bulky outer box, but this is smaller than the Pixel 4a, and these have almost the same size displays, man. I mean, it's a good look for a person that wants a powerhouse device, and you don't want to deal with because I'm on the move a lot. It seems like, well, no, I've actually slowed down on YouTube a little bit. I will admit that. I'm putting videos out, but not like I used to. But that's going to change. Live stream is coming back. Everything is coming back. I'm settled. I'm taking care of business, and we're going to keep the train going. But hopefully that glare isn't bothering you guys too much. Like, might be my FedEx. Yeah, I think I'm about to bounce. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed iPhone 12 mini. I'm actually loving it, man. I think it's fire. Take care.